Hello and welcome everybody to my channel Omni Bioentrance, and today we will be discussing the Karnataka SET question paper for the subject Life Science. I am discussing the part 2 section. This was conducted in the year 2024. If you want still previous year question papers of Karnataka SET question paper, you can go to my channel Omni Bioentrance. In the channel playlist, see for Karnataka SET or kset, and you will find them there. If you are new to my channel, please do like, share and subscribe. So coming to the next question. So which of the following statement is incorrect about hemophilia? Hemophilia, it is sex linked, and it is through the X chromosome hemophilia is transmitted. And here you have to see for the incorrect statement about hemophilia. It is sex-linked disease. Yes, that is correct. Male can be a carrier. No, male is always the recipient of one X chromosome from the mother. And if the mother is having hemophilia, means the male is going to get hemophilic disease. Whereas females, they have both two X chromosomes. So if the mother is infected and the father is not infected, means the female can be carrier of the disease. Only if both the X chromosomes are carrying the hemophilic gene, then the female will get hemophilia. Otherwise, female is a carrier. Then it is inheritable. Yes, there is no cure for hemophilia. Yes, so your answer is male can be carrier. Then select the intercalating agent from the chemical. Nitrous acid is deaminating agent. 2-aminopurine, it is a base analog. Acridine orange, yes, it is intercalating agent. Nitrosoguanidine, it is an alkylating agent. Then who introduced the term gene? It is Wilhelm Johansen. And as per your answer key, it is Friedrich Miescher. So Friedrich Miescher, he discovered a substance called nuclein, later named it as nucleic acid. So as per me, it is 1, and as per your answer key, it is 2. Then to which of the following zoogeographic realms does Indian continent belong? It is Oriental. So as per me, it is Oriental, and as per your answer key, it is Neotropical. Okay. Then stated below are the properties related to botanical and zoological nomenclature. Select a combination of two properties which best describe botanical nomenclature. So botanical nomenclature property you have to select, not zoological nomenclature. So presence of only holotype, neotype. Okay, now what is all these holotype, neotype, isotype, lectotype, etc. I will tell you now. So holotype means a single specimen used to describe a species. Now, for example, if I tell a scientist he will go to some island, a new island has been discovered, just hypothetical, okay, and he find a specific beetle there. He describes this new species of the beetle, and he designates one beetle out of this species as the specimen, and this is called as the holotype. It is to be used for the official reference. Okay, that is holotype. Now what is isotype? Isotype, it is a duplicate of the holotype collected from the same place at the same time, etc. That is isotype. So in case of beetle species, the other beetles which are collected alongside this holotype are called as the isotype. Yes, isotype. Okay. Now what is lectotype? Means a specimen chosen from the original material to serve as type when the holotype was not designated or if the holotype is missing. Now, if the original author who went in search of beetles in this newly found island, he forgot to designate a holotype for the beetle. Now, after some 2 or 3 months or after 1 or 2 years, a researcher go there to this island and he will choose one of the original specimen from this collection of beetles. Okay, that is called as the lectotype. Okay, that is the lectotype. So if the holotype was not designated, a specimen is chosen from the original material to serve as the type. So that is called as the lectotype. Then there is what is called as the neotype. Neotype is chosen, it is a substitute for the holotype if the holotype is lost. Now the lab in which this scientist was working, after many years it caught fire. So what happened? The holotype is missing. Okay. So some researcher or he himself, he want a new specimen. So the new specimen from a different location, it is not good. So what he will do, he will select another beetle that is close as much as possible to the original material or the original beetle that he choose. Okay, so that is called as the neotype. Okay, now in botanical as well as zoological nomenclature, presence of only holotype neotype is not taken into consideration. You need the presence of holotype, neotype, the other one lectotype and isotype. All these have to be present. Okay, so one is not correct. Absence of principle of coordination. Yes, that is correct for botanical nomenclature. For zoological nomenclature, it is presence of principle of coordination. It means that when you publish a name for a taxon at one rank within the family group or the genus group or the species group, it will automatically establish corresponding names for all the other ranks within the group. And it will share the same author and date. This means, suppose I select the name for giraffe as Giraffa camelopardalis. Okay. So that is the species name. Now in the species group there is another rank called as the subspecies. So when you name the species as camelopardalis, automatically it will establish the subspecies name as Giraffa camelopardalis with the same name of the author and date. That is called as principle of coordination. Then presence of genus and species rank only, that is not something which is related to botanical nomenclature alone. It is there in zoological nomenclature, in bacteriology, in mycology, all these. It is the basic for the Linnaean system of binomial nomenclature. Okay. So 3 is not correct. Absence of tautonyms. Yes, that is correct. That means in Zoological nomenclature tautonyms are present. That first I will tell you what is that. So tautonym means in a plant's scientific name, the name of the genus and species will not be the same in case of plants. Whereas in zoology, the genus name can also be the species name also. For example, Rattus rattus. Rattus is genus name, Rattus is species name. But in plants, for apple, you cannot name Malus malus. You have to name Malus as genus name and the species name will be some other thing. So absence of tautonyms is a characteristic of botanical nomenclature. So 2 and 4, that makes option 2 as the answer. Then choose the correct statement for the phylogeny of primates. Orangutans are closer to lorises and gibbons. Lorises are here in this group, that is prosimians, and orangutans are in anthropoids. Gibbons are also in anthropoids. So orangutans are closer to lorises, which is different group, is not correct, but orangutans are closer to gibbons is more correct. They both belong to the same group. So one is wrong. They have asked for the correct statement. Then next one, humans are closer to New World monkeys than orangutan. So New World monkey belong here, orangutan also belong here. But if you see the lineage, humans are closer to orangutans than to New World monkeys. And this gibbons, orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzee, humans, they all belong to apes. Whereas Old World, New World monkeys are not apes. So 2 is also incorrect. Then lemurs are more closely related to lorises than gibbons. That is also correct. So lemurs are this, they are more closely related to lorises. Yes, lemurs are related to lorises than gibbons, which are belonging to another group. Lorises and lemurs in one group. Then tarsiers are same as Old World monkeys. No, they are another group. Old World monkeys are another group. So 4 is also not correct. Then the influenza H1N1 virus that cause swine flu in humans is a combination of viruses that affect. So swine flu, it emerged from recombination of other influenza strains, that is the one from swine or the pigs, then the avian or the birds, and the humans, that is human influenza viral strain. And this has resulted in causing a global pandemic. So pig, birds and humans. Answer is 1. Then which of the following is not an ex situ conservation of germ plasm? So there are 2 types of conservation. One is ex situ and the other is in situ. Ex situ means you preserve the genetic material as seeds, tissues or cells outside the natural habitat. And these include seed banks, DNA banks, botanical gardens, zoos, cryopreservation facilities, etc. Whereas in situ conservation, it involves protecting the species within their natural habitat. That is your national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, etc. So out of these, which is not an ex situ conservation is botanical garden, ex situ, DNA gene bank, seed gene bank, all ex situ. But biosphere reserve is an in situ method of conservation. So that's not the answer. Then match the organism in column A with their action in column B. So lactobacillus, curd. Yes, 4. A is 4. So that makes option 4 as the answer. Then protozoan, yes, malaria, Plasmodium falciparum is a protozoan. So B3. Rhizobium, nitrogen fixation, C1, and virus is in AIDS. HIV is a AIDS causing virus. So 4 is the answer. It was a very easy match the following. Then next one, prawns and butterflies belong to the same phylum because of the presence of. So they belong to the phylum Arthropoda. Arthropoda have jointed appendages, segmented body and hard exoskeleton made of chitin. So bilateral symmetry, no. Jointed legs, yes. Antenna, yes. Segmented body, that's also correct. But in your answer key, only jointed eggs is given. As per me, 2 and 4 are correct. Then animals that migrate over long distances between continents are termed as transcontinental migrators. Transoceanic means migrate across oceans, and long haul migrators means they migrate exceptionally long distances. So the answer is 3. Then which of the following is not a direct threat to loss of species diversity? So alien species, yes, they can cause loss of species diversity. Alien species means they are non-native species which are introduced through human action in the environment, and they will compete with the native species for resources, and finally the alien species will win and the population of the native species will decline. Then habitat loss means it is caused by human activities like deforestation, urbanization, agriculture, destruction of the natural habitat of the species is the result of all these action. So that will also cause threat to or loss of species diversity. Overexploitation, yes. It can be unsustainable hunting, fishing, harvesting, etc. So here the species are not able to reproduce and produce more young ones because of overexploitation. Okay. So they are not. So the species, since they cannot reproduce at a faster rate, they cannot replenish themselves. So overexploitation also is a threat to loss of species diversity. But greenhouse gas is not a direct threat to the loss of species diversity. Then which of the following is not a cause of ecological succession? So ecological succession means a gradual and a sequential change in the species composition in an ecological community. So there are various causes. One is the initiating causes, then continuing causes and the stabilizing causes. So initiating causes are your climatic and biotic factors. Climatic means fire, flood, drought, heavy rains, etc. Biotic factors means alien species invasion, overgrazing by herbivores, competition for resources. Humans are also involved where they cause deforestation, agriculture, urbanization. So that can cause ecological succession. Then there are continuing causes, that is the process that continue the succession after the initial disturbance. So it can be the migration, that is movement of species into the new area, or exist, that is establishment of an organism in a new area. So it is a continuing cause. Then there are stabilizing causes, means they stabilize the community. It can be your climate or your soil or your mineral availability, etc. So 4 is also not correct. So synthetic causes do not cause ecological succession. Then edge effect is observed in. So what is this edge effect? It refers to changes in the population or community that you see at the boundary of two habitats or ecotone. Okay, sometimes the number of species or the population density of some of the species in this ecotone will be greater than those in the either of the two habitats, and this is called edge effect. And the organism that occurs in more abundance in this ecotone are called as edge species. Okay. So edge effect is observed in an ecotone. Answer is 2. Then ecozone means it is a large biogeographic region and it has a distinct environmental conditions, geographical features, and there is a unique evolutionary history of its animals and plants. Ecosphere means another term for biosphere. Biotope means it is a small uniform geographical area with the consistent environmental condition, and they support certain specific community of organs. So in biotope there is consistent environmental condition. Okay. Then next one. Which of the following statement about nutrient cycle in an ecosystem is not correct? The quantity of material required for life are unlimited. No, they are in finite amounts on the earth. That is, the nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus, all these things are found in finite amount in the earth, and these are continually recycled and circulated through the ecosystem so that it is made available to the various life forms on the earth. They are not unlimited. The gain of, that is the correct statement. Okay. The gain of nutrient is through rainfall, nitrogen fixation. Yes. The loss of nutrients is through soil erosion, denitrification. Yes. The movement of nutrients between organism and soil is through absorption, assimilation and decomposition. Of course, these are the statements which are correct about nutrient cycling. One is not the correct statement. Then which of the following organisms do not fix atmospheric nitrogen? It is your Gelidium. Then which of the following is not a reason for small local population going extinct? Not a reason for small local population. Now what is this small local population? It is a single isolated group of organism. Single isolated group of organism, and they are interaction is limited to the organisms which are present in this single small area. Okay, there is no migration, immigration, no dispersal. Their interaction is only within the people in this small area. That is small local population. Now which of the following is not a reason for local population going extinct? Loss of genetic variation. Yes, that can cause the small local population going extinct, because genetic variation, it is required for evolution to happen. Now in a small local population, genetic variation is lost means they will not be able to survive new challenges, like there may be new diseases coming in the small local population. No genetic variation means most of the population will die out. So the small local population can become extinct. So that is one reason why small local population is going extinct. Then environmental stochasticity. That is also why the small local population is getting extinct. What it means is the random and unpredictable variation in the environment, such as due to changes in weather, temperature, rainfall, drought, flood, fire, storm, all these things. The small population will not be able to bear. They cannot overcome these environmental effects when compared to that of a large population. Majority of the small local population can get killed because of this environmental variation. So they can become extinct. Then demographic demographic stochasticity, that is the rate or if there is a variation in the birth and death rate. Okay, suppose there is a series of death because of some disease happening there. Majority of the people are dying and there are lack of birth. Yes, the small local population is going to become extinct. So dispersal stochasticity, it is not for a small local population, it is taking place in a meta population. So what is a meta population? Means it is a network of many individual population. Okay. It is a network of many individual population, that is called as meta population, and the individuals in these populations, they are connected to each other through migration and dispersal. Okay, so 4 is the answer. Then what do you mean by carrying capacity of a population? Means the population size that can be supported by available resources for a particular species in a habitat. So 3 is the answer. That was a direct question. Then the marine environmental event red tide is due to the presence of Carenia brevis. It is a dinoflagellate. Okay. Then Lamarckism states that we are learning from high school the use and disuse theory, which is the and also the theory of inheritance of acquired characters. So the key points is that organism, they develop different traits through use and disuse of the body parts. And these traits, they are passed on to the offspring, and as the generation of new individuals come up, these traits, they accumulate in this generation, and finally they will result in the formation of new species. Example for Lamarckism is in the case of the giraffe neck. So the ancestors of giraffe, they had short neck, and if they have to reach the leaves of tall trees, they have to stretch their necks and limbs. So as a result of this stretching and this elongation of the neck, they acquired the characters, and these characters were then inherited to the offspring, and this led to the development of long-necked giraffes of today. So that is what Lamarckism says. So every offspring is similar to the parent? No. Every offspring inherit characters acquired by the parental generation? Yes. Every offspring shows struggle of existence and phylogeny repeats phylogeny in its own. Oh, that and all is not correct. So second is the answer. Then the nucleolar region in prokaryotic organism are not surrounded by membrane. Yes. The undefined nuclear area is called the nucleoid. Nucleic acid found in eukaryotes, your DNA, RNA, nucleolus found inside the nucleus. Nucleosome, it is the structural unit of DNA packaging in eukaryotes, and it consists of a segment of DNA wound around the histone octamer. Then next one, which biomolecule is most broadly dispersed in a cell? Dispersed means it will be found in the cytoplasm, it will be found in your plasma membrane, it will be found in your other cell organelles. That is what is meant by dispersed in the cell. So which biomolecule is more broadly dispersed? It is your RNA. It is found in nucleus as well as in the cytoplasm. Whereas DNA, it is mainly confined to the nucleus. Chloroplast, it is an organelle. Spherosome, they are also somewhat organelle-like. So RNA is the answer. Okay, spherosome, I think they are found in your bacteria, I think. Yes, I think they are found in bacteria, I think. Or are they found found in plant cell. I am not able to remember that. I am extremely sorry for spherosomes, but they are not broadly dispersed in the cell. It is your RNA which is broadly dispersed in the cell. Okay. Then the pigment largely responsible for collecting light energy during photosynthesis, naturally chlorophyll A. Okay, 4. Chlorophyll is the answer. Then the synthesis of various organic compounds from inorganic molecule. It was postulated by. So this it was first postulated by Oparin and Haldane. They told that the early Earth reducing atmosphere, that is, it was rich in methane, ammonia, water vapor, hydrogen. All these are inorganic molecules, and they have from these inorganic molecules there was spontaneous production of simple organic molecules. That is what Oparin and Haldane proposed. And then Miller and Urey, they conducted the experiment to test this hypothesis. So they simulated the earth condition in the lab. That is, they took a flask containing the gases, that is methane, ammonia, water vapor, hydrogen. All these gases was taken in the flask, and the electric spark was passed through these gases, and the experiment successfully produced amino acids. So from inorganic molecule, organic compounds are produced. So Miller is also correct. Oparin and Haldane is also correct. Then which of the following findings was discovered by Miller experiment? I told you just now, it is amino acids. Then paleontology is the study of rock and minerals, no ancient language, no prehistoric life through fossils. Yes. Then in which of the following is the fundamental unit of hereditary cell gene? Which of the following is a parasitic antibiotic, means that is given for a parasitic infection? It is your albendazole. It is a deworming antibiotic. Okay. Then which of the following components need to be immobilized on the surface of polystyrene plate to perform ELISA test to detect malarial infection? So this is your microtiter plate. You can either coat it with antigen or antibody. Okay. Now here they have told it is detect malarial infection. So the sample that you are going to provide is your antibody containing sample, because the person is infected with malaria. The person will naturally produce antibodies against malaria. So his blood sample you are taking and going to put in the microtiter plate. So what you have to coat the microtiter well, it should be your antibody against the one minute. Yes, I made a mistake here. I am sorry for that. Okay. So I was telling the story about malarial infection. So what you do is you can coat the microtiter plate with either antigen or antibody depending on the sample that you are providing. Okay. Now here the sample is the blood sample from a patient who is having malaria. So the blood sample will contain many antigens for this particular malarial infection. Okay, so what you do is you will coat the microtiter plate with antibody. This antibody, it will bind your malarial parasite antigen. This will be bound by another antibody which will produce color. Okay. So here it will be monoclonal antibody against parasite antigen. So 2 will be the answer. Then 16S rRNA sequencing is performed to identify which of the following species it is bacteria. So 16S rRNA gene, it is highly conserved sequence present in bacteria, and it is used as a genetic marker. Even though it is highly conserved, there can be variable regions in the gene. And because of the presence of this variable region, it will allow to differentiate between bacterial species. Okay. So the answer is option 1. Then gene therapy is approved and works on the principle of. It works on the principle of genetic modification. So gene therapy, it involves making changes in the person's genes to treat or prevent diseases. And it involves the techniques like gene replacement. That is, you replace the faulty gene in the patient with a healthy one. Or you can go for gene editing tools like CRISPR-Cas9 to edit the unhealthy genes. And you can go even for gene silencing, that is suppressing the expression of a specific gene. Then what is this epigenetic inheritance? Means it is the inheritance of traits across generation without any changes in the DNA sequence. Okay, so without any changes in the DNA sequence means how will this epigenetic inheritance work? It is, for example, it can be through methylation of your DNA. Methylation doesn't change any DNA sequence. Okay, so you methylate the DNA. Once you methylate, the DNA can either switch on or switch off the expression of other genes. So that is epigenetic inheritance. And epigenetic inheritance can also be caused by environmental factors, lifestyle, etc. Then lateral gene transfer and horizontal gene transfer, they are one and the same thing. Before explaining horizontal gene transfer, what is vertical gene transfer? It is inheritance of gene from the parent to the offspring. If parent to offspring inheritance is not involved, it is lateral gene or horizontal gene transfer. Okay.